Why does my hair do this? What is this? Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this YouTube video. My name is Michelle and welcome to my channel called Michelle the Mystic. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how to communicate, how to connect with spiritual beings and actually receive answers. And by spiritual beings, I'm talking about your spirit guides, I'm talking about angels, archangels, your higher self, your guardian angel, or even ancestors. So first, I'd like to say a quick disclaimer that I am one person having one spiritual experience and spiritual journey, and so I can't speak for the entire spiritual community when I make these videos. These videos are all of my personal experiences, things that I've gathered, things that I've learned, and things that I think are really helpful and I want to share with other people. So please watch these videos with an open mind and take what resonates and leave the rest. So with all that being said, let's get on to the main points of this video. So the first main point that I want to cover in this video on how to connect and communicate with your spirit guides and angels, I just want to say that every single person, every human has their own spiritual team. And this team is made up of your guardian angel, different angels, archangels, spirit guides, potential ancestors. We're not talking here in this video on how to connect to ghosts, how to use tools like a Ouija board to connect, to communicate to spirits. That's not anything that I am talking about in this video, and if that's why you clicked on this video, please click off because it's not what I am trying to communicate here. So I want to mention that everybody has their own spiritual team, and when I talk about connecting with spiritual beings, I'm talking about connecting to your specific spiritual team for the purpose of getting clarity, of getting guidance, of seeking answers. And so that's exactly what they're here for, and that's what they want to offer you. And so we need to know how to tap into that. We need to know how to connect with them, how to properly communicate with them. And so that's what I want to share in this video. So the first main point is that you have a spiritual team that's made up specifically for you of spirit guides, of ancestors, of angels, and they want to connect with you, they want to communicate with you, they want to show you signs, they want to guide you. Many people do in fact also have what they call a soul family or star family, if you resonate with the fact that you could have other spiritual beings from different star systems, from different places in our galaxy. They can also be there to communicate with you, to try and guide you through this incarnation, through your lifetime here. And I just like to say that all of these spirit guides and spiritual beings usually reside in higher dimensions. So the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension is usually where they're at, and they can see the bigger picture, and that's how they're able to help guide you throughout your life here. And other things like angels and archangels, they reside in higher dimensions. And I also want to point out that everybody has the ability to call on what we call ascended masters, or human beings that lived here on earth that now have ascended. So we can think of Jesus Christ, Mother Mary, Buddha, any of those types of ascended masters. And if you think about it, when people who are typically religious or say Christian or Catholic pray to Jesus or pray to Mother Mary, they are calling on that ascended master. And you know, there are so many accounts of different miracles and answered prayers and all this, and it's because they listen, and all of these spiritual beings are here to guide you, and that's exactly what they're here for. When you call to any of these spiritual beings of the higher dimensions, of the higher realms, they will listen and they will try their best to co-create with you and to offer you blessings. So with that, let's get on to the next point. So now we're on to the main point of this video, the main topic, how to actually make contact, how to make the connection with your spiritual team, reach out and start communicating. So the number one thing that I recommend, and the way that you start, is to actually start with one spiritual being. So make a connection and communicate with one spiritual being. The way that you want to do this and the way that you want to think about it is you're trying to make a very authentic and personal connection with this spiritual being. So a way that I recommend doing that is to actually learn their name and understand and feel what their energy and their presence feels like when you were with them, when you were connecting with them, when you were starting to communicate. And there are a couple different ways you can get into this energy and a couple different ways you can make that connection with them. So the main two that I recommend are prayer and meditation. Meditation will help you get into a very calm and relaxed state where you can be very present and you can be very in tune with your body, with your soul, and you are very connected to the universe and your spiritual team. Prayer is another way. Essentially, when you are praying anyways, you are, setting out an intention, asking for clarity, or just giving love out into the universe, and your spiritual team, the universe itself hears that, and so it's like a direct channel communication that you have. So the way that I made contact with my first spiritual being was through a meditation that was specifically designed for that. I made contact with my guardian angel, and through that meditation I was able to learn her name and to feel her energy. So that's how I went about it. I found a meditation that was specifically designed to guide you through meeting your guardian angel, and I sort of, I wasn't sure if it was going to work. I never had an experience like that, so I just got into the meditation and I was sitting in the energy and I was just allowing, and nothing happened at first, and then I just got this extreme wave of intuition of what her name was. It was so loud and so clear in my mind, and then after that, during the meditation, I just felt this intense wave of love, and it almost felt like I was being hugged by her presence, and that's how I knew what she felt like and what her presence was with me and her energy. I felt physical sensations in my body, and I just felt this energy all over my body. So pay attention to when you make these connections, when you make your first connection with your spiritual being, whatever it is, if it's your spirit guide, if it's your higher self, your guardian angel, an archangel, whatever it is, whatever spiritual being that you are connected to, make sure you try to feel their presence and understand what their energy feels like in your physical body. Do you get tingling sensations? Do you get ringing in the ears? Do you feel like a familiar feeling of maybe seeing a family member, or feeling like you are about to cry or extremely happy in a different way? So when you are in prayer or in meditation and you are trying to communicate and connect to the spiritual being, introduce yourself. They obviously already know who you are. They've probably been around you since you were born. There are some spiritual beings or guides that come and go throughout your life through different phases, and there are some that are with you throughout your entire incarnation here. So they obviously know who you are, but make it sort of this formal, informal interaction where you introduce yourself and you are open to receiving their love and to receiving their energy and their name. And once you know their name, you are able to later down in the line, when you're trying to communicate with them, you can directly ask and directly call for their name for guidance, for clarity, and then it's just an easier, more personal way and more authentic way to connect with them. And it's just really sweet too. So after all of these experiences, make sure you understand and connect with their energy and know what that feels like in your physical body. And for every single spirit or spirit guide or being that you connect with, try to pay attention to this as well, because it could be different dependent on the being that you're connected to. Some like to communicate in different ways, and some like to play to different strengths of yours or different intuitive gifts of yours. So some might directly communicate with you through thoughts or through your hearing, or some might give you signs and synchronicities in real life. So pay attention to those as well. So the next main point, after you've made this first authentic connection with at least one spiritual being on your spiritual team, communicate with them frequently and authentically. And this will help to keep the relationship very stable and to help you stay grounded in your spiritual process here on earth. As a spiritual being having a human experience, you are always connected to the divine. You are always connected to source and to your spiritual team. And so knowing that, and knowing that you can ask them for guidance, for clarity, for understandings. You can pray to them. They are always with you. They are always here to guide you, and you have that resource. Use that resource and communicate with them frequently and often, and thank them for everything that they're helping you, because they can give you all the guidance that you need, and if you don't take action, then they really can't do much more for you. Have conversations with them. I think it's kind of fun to honestly converse with them and talk to my spirit guides out loud. I'll talk sometimes through my thoughts because they know you. They can hear your thoughts through vibration. That's how sort of it works. They can't really hear your thoughts, but you put off a vibration from the thoughts that you're thinking, from the energy state that you're in, from the mood that you're in, and they can feel that, they can sense that. And so if you're in a certain particular situation or certain experience and you need clarity, you need guidance, ask them. And then once you get that guidance, I really, really highly encourage you to keep a journal. Any guidance that you get from them, write it down and try to keep it as authentic to what they say. If you can remember that, write it down as soon as you can, almost however they said it, because they can give you all the guidance you need, but if you don't take action on it, you don't do anything with it, then they can't do much else for you. So yeah, keep a journal, and whenever you receive guidance, whenever you have spiritual experiences, write those down, because I can guarantee that you're going to be so happy and grateful that you can look back in your spiritual journey in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and see how much you've grown, see the lessons that you've learned, see the guidance that you've received, and see the ways that the universe has truly, truly delivered for you in your life. It is so cool. Highly recommend that. But when you do get guidance from your spiritual team or spiritual beings, try to write those down, try to take action towards them as well. And then lastly, just continue to communicate with them and thank them for all that they do, and thank them for their guidance and their clarity, because they do love you no matter what, but they also love to be thanked and appreciated. And then lastly, just pay attention to the ways that they communicate with you. If you're asking for specific signs or symbols, some spirit guides like to communicate with you in specific ways. So for instance, for myself, I noticed that some of my main spirit guides gave me messages through angel numbers and just through numbers in general. And so my waking up phase of my spiritual journey, my awakening, was filled with angel numbers and guidance through those numbers as well. Alongside angel numbers, you could receive signs in the form of objects, of animals, of places, of people's names. You could hear different messages through music. You could hear messages through movies or TV shows. Whatever it is, your spirit guides will try to communicate with you, maybe even through your dreams or through your psychic abilities, your intuitive abilities, through energy. It can be in a lot of different ways that they try to communicate with you, and specific guides might have specific ways of doing it. So just pay attention to those, write those down, keep those in mind, and keep communicating with your guides frequently and authentically. And the last main point that I want to make in this video is to continue making progress. After you have already connected and communicated with your spiritual team or a spirit guide or a spiritual being, I would recommend making progress in different ways through your spiritual journey. Obviously, if you're on this path, you believe in this stuff, you are on a spiritual journey, and I want you to continue to progress. A way to do that is to incorporate spirituality into your everyday life through spiritual prayer or meditation. Create a ritual or practice for yourself where you can sit down with yourself authentically every single day to reconnect with your soul, to realign with your higher self, and to connect with the universe. And this will allow you to be in better touch with your spirituality in general, and then also better communicate with your spirit guides and receive answers, receive guidance. Because a lot of times we can ask for guidance, and if we're not in a spiritually aligned energy or vibration, we might not actually receive guidance at all. We might not be able to pick up on it. We might just be too busy in our everyday lives. So if you really want to seek answers to your questions and get a lot of clarity and guidance for real, you need to be operating in a state of alliance with the universe and with your higher self, so that you are able to pick up on those signs and synchronicities from your spiritual team. Another way to make spiritual progress would be to, immerse yourself in more of the spiritual aspects, buy different books, listen to some podcasts, watch some different YouTube videos, read different articles, immerse yourself in all things spirituality and see how that expands your consciousness and leads you to different aspects, to learning about your soul, to learning about spirituality and more about spirit guides and all that kind of stuff. And lastly, try to authentically develop your intuition through practice. And there are a couple different ways you can do this. There are some videos on YouTube actually that help you to practice your intuition. I made another video about psychic gifts and your intuition and the 4 intuitive clairs. So if you're interested in that, watch that video. Everybody has those gifts and the 4 clairs. You can practice your intuition on a day-to-day basis, and remember to learn to trust yourself and to just listen to yourself. And if you get a gut feeling, if you get a moment of clarity, just follow that and see where that goes. Obviously, don't do anything to harm yourself or to harm other people, but that goes without saying with any of these messages that you receive. So that is all I have for you guys on this video on how to connect and communicate authentically with spiritual beings or your spiritual team and actually receive answers, actually receive guidance. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, that you learned something new, and that you're willing to try these things, keep an open mind, and continue working on your spiritual process, on making progress on your spiritual journey. I'm a new YouTuber, so I would really love it if you could give this video a thumbs up and share with anybody who you think it would resonate with. If you feel so inclined to, please subscribe to my channel if you resonate with my messages or any of these other videos that I've created. Please do that. So thank you so much. I would love to see you back here again.